right, flow for cycle 3. Our focus lift is going to be cleans. If you're not ready to clean yet, you're swinging, your one arm swinging, or any hinge regression, keep working on that until you feel ready to move up the progression on hip hinges, moving toward the ability to do the whole body pull throw, which is what the clean is a version of. So I'm going to start from swings, low swings, to low one arm swings. And these are great ways to warm up and prepare for the clean. To one arm swings with a float. And then finally, all together is the, I pull it back and I catch it in the rack position. So easier said than done, of course. Things to think about when you're cleaning. If your bell is flying away from you on your swings, one, you're probably gonna start feeling that in your back. Two, this makes it really hard to bring it back. And there's this tendency too to cast and throw the bell out to get it swinging when you just need to drop it down. The arc of the swing, especially for a clean, is very small. It stays close to my body. My elbow stays close to my body. So if my elbow's winging out and doing all this stuff, then it's going to be more likely to get a little squirrely as I throw the bell around. So I'm going to keep it close. Notice that there's a little rotation that happens naturally. If that doesn't feel good, you can minimize that. You can't totally get rid of it, but you can minimize it by just trying to stay square. Don't be afraid of taking a wider stance too. If you're having a hard time getting out of your quads or getting out of your back, take a little wider stance. So if the clean isn't feeling good, but you feel like you have the swing and all of that, things you can work on. One, you can use a cradle to help it in place. So if it's that clunk, you're like, oh man, every time I just get that kettlebell kiss on the back of my wrist, use your other hand to help it in place. Another option would to do a hand and a half. So both hands help to pull it up, and then you just turn it over into one side. What this helps with, if you feel like your hand strength is a limiting factor for your cleans, this won't be the limiting factor anymore. It's also, I find, really easy to keep the bell close to your body instead of having it, all of this movement way out and away, the bell swinging and digging a ditch in between you. Instead, it just stays in nice and tight and close. All right, if you have other questions on that, please let me know, and I can help coach you where you are more directly. It's also a good one for when we meet for our cycle session. Okay, pair with that is a little tip up with the crouch. So tip up means that I'm going to do a shift from my feet to my hands. It can be as small as that. A lot of times when I say tip up, people are like, oh, I gotta do a full handstand with my hips on top of my hands. And you don't have to do that. It's just a shift from feet to hands. When you come down, I'm gonna have you pivot and say hi to this crouch position. So it's a little squat position at an angle, just like that. It's same transition position as if it were a sit out. So from here into tip up, I'm gonna switch to my other side. Tip up, and notice when I get going here and I find a rhythm, I can do that little locomotive leg change and switch over to the other side. Fluid, smooth. Even if you got a bum side, make it smooth, and make it easy. Make it feel like it's the movement is leading itself into the next one. I know, easier said than done, but that's the idea. That's the idea I want you to have in your head. So those two will be paired up top. Our step bump can be done in place or walking. we're going to do a bump just with a single weight and 2 hands. So you're going to hold it boulder style, palms on the belly. Don't hold this by the handles. Nothing wrong with that, I just don't think it transfers well. Bumps from one side to the other. Now, to add that step in, I'm just shifting. It's like a single-sided throw. It's like I'm playing catch with both sides of my body. And it just comes across to the other side. If you feel like you want to add this in, I might encourage some folks to try it out maybe after the first week. This can be done walking style. So a lot more skill, a lot more athleticism required for shifting and moving back and forth while also moving the load up and down against gravity. So don't add that in if it just feels like, oh my God, let go of that. It's just a more skillful version of the movement. But the idea, more important, is that you're feeling the whole body connecting and creating up force and receiving, receiving the down force. Next one, straight crab crawls. So, give you a bunch of crawls on a root day, and I just want to call out one that doesn't get enough attention. It's one of the best ways to get down a mountain if it gets too steep, is to come to all fours like this. These can be done scoot style. Every time you scoot would be a rep. If you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, then choose a limb and count that. Each time that limb steps down, that's a rep for you. And as always, if you feel really smooth and fluid with this, one, you can just go a certain distance. You don't have to count reps. You can create a little line in your house. You can also reach your legs out and pull more with your heels. Ideally, with the crab, the one thing I think gets lost a lot is people think that it's just their arms doing everything and the legs don't do anything. So they're just worried about holding themselves up on the weak point instead of using the strong point. The legs pull, 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 pull. Think of it as a hamstring exercise. The legs do the propulsion, and the arms are just there to try to keep your butt off the ground. You're not trying to shove yourself forward with your arms. Anyway, if you're wondering, yes, I did win the 100-meter crab walk on my track team a million years ago. So I am an expert crab walker. All right, please ask me or let me know if you have any questions about that, if you're struggling with it. All right, step pull. So it's like the pulling variant of that bump. And what I'm going to do is do a pull like a row, but it's going to be a lot more whole body, just like that. So I'm in this split stance, drive, and then I'm going to switch to the other side, drive. Think about when you pull at a little bit of a angle back, so that this isn't just like upright row, or like what we did this cycle, the face pull. Similar, I know, but learn to differentiate. Strong abs, and that front foot, drive into that front foot. This, just like the clean, is a cross body. It's a diagonal movement. Opposite foot pulls through, and the line of strength comes all the way, crosses the body, and finishes in the opposite limb. Opposite limb to opposite limb. Same thing here. Opposite limb drives that pull. Opposite limb drives that pull. So stepping into the pull. If you're like, oh my gosh, this step is just throwing me off, do your reps all on one side, and then do your reps all on the other side. Just reduce the complexity of the movement. All right, diagonal to halo. Another funky one. Here, you're going to grab it by the horns, bottoms up. So grab it by the horns, not a boulder hold. That's not going to work well for this. By the horns. The diagonal comes out to the side, and then the halo comes around upstairs. So diagonal, halo, diagonal, halo, ab strong, root strong. The only thing that's turning is the top half of your spine. If you need more pivot, then that comes from pivoting your pelvis in. That's the lower half of your spine doesn't twist, but your pelvis does. And that's how that rotation, the whole body rotation works. So it comes around, pivot, comes around, pivot, comes around, pivot. Escalation on this, stepping back. So my opposite leg steps back. All together. And I like to come back together for my halo. Do this from the side. Keep your abs strong. Keep your tailbone tucked. There's a tendency, especially here, is to really arch. Don't arch. Keep everything tucked and locked underneath. If you don't feel like you can execute that halo comfortably, no problem. Just let it go. You can even come up just to one side and then back down. So just do that mobility work right there, elbow on top of the shoulder, or come back together, boom, come back together, boom. You don't have to do the halo if you're like, I can't do this. These can also be done body weight style, just focusing on switching and rotating. And you can bring your hands together into that halo, hands together, come into the halo. Totally fine to do that without any load, or the very, very light load in your hands. A little bit of load helps you feel the lines a bit better, I find, but isn't necessary. Okay, roll to a single leg. We're going to just say hi and turn our rolls, take them away from the skill zone and into the calisthenic zone. There's not a hard line between those two, of course. But we're not going to work on rolling all the way over. We are going to work on coming up and popping up on a single leg. So this is like a low single leg squat, and I'm using a hand to prop. But what I'd like you to feel is just a little bit of a push off of that squatting leg, just so you can feel the power transfer. And working that squat from that end range, that low range. So just pop up a little bit. If you feel strong, you can also reach that leg out nice and long and create a little bit more core tension to hold that leg out. If you feel like you could even do this without the prop, I can't show you that today, do it without the prop. Props to you. Let's roll to a single leg. And the last one, a forearm mountain and valley. Just like it sounds, forearms on the ground, and take your plank. So it's going to be a lot smaller mountain and valley than it would with arms on the ground. And see how that affects your shoulders. See how that affects your valley and your extension line. And what I find, how it affects me, is I get a lot more of a stretch into this overhead position, especially through my ribs. And I have to do a lot more upper body core tension with it. Maybe you find something different. So forearm, mountain and valleys. And then we move into skill. So on these days, I'm going to work on, in the live sessions, bipedal locomotion. And I'm going to start with butt kicks. So these can be done in place. So you might put 5 minutes on and do a minute of each one. This will become a little bit more of a finisher style rather than a skill. But if you treat it as a skill and you're just trying to feel soft and gentle and more efficient with it, you can make it more skill. If you just want to be like, I want to smack my face with some exercise, you can make it feel like that too. Your choice. Anyway, these can be very small too. And the emphasis on the butt kicks is I'm just trying to pick my foot up. If jumping from one foot to the other is like, no, then this is how you do it. Boom. Just focus on holding that line and picking up the heel. Next one, high knees. I don't want to leave the ground doing high knees right now. That's no good for me. So I'm going to do the marching like this. Abs strong, spine long. And working on trying to bring my knee up higher. Look, you can see which knee is ready to go and which knee is like, no, thank you. Yes, thank you. So marches, and then if you do that in place, again, they can be very small and knees up. Next one, front leg swings. Haven't done these forever. So you can do these marching style. So swinging the leg to the front. Again, strong abs, leg swings, or leg swing, switch, leg swing, switch. So you can do these in place. Leg stays long, abs stay strong. You try to swing the leg up, dynamic stretch on the way up. Leg swings to the rear are going to go the opposite. So it's kind of like doing a single leg lift, except I'm just going to focus on swinging my leg out to the rear and then reset. Swing my leg out to the rear. Hinge a little bit. I can't hinge so well on this one for that. But you get the idea. It's like switching from a single leg to a single leg. What else did I have on there? Oh, and then forward and backward running. So if you had a little bit of a line to just practice jogging forward, jogging backward. Again, when we're meeting in the live sessions, we'll probably go a little bit farther so you have a little bit more room. But practicing running forward and backward. To many of you who I know have questions about knees stuff, some really great research about walking and running backwards on knees, primarily because it does a very nice gentle job of practicing that knee over toe position. Anyway, there's some great research out there on the value of walking and running backwards for strengthening knees. It's not for every single knee condition, of course, ever, but something might be worth looking into. One other thing I'll say, at home here, I have a rubber band that I use sometimes for some locomotion like this, and I just tie it around my waist, and I practice running forward, so driving off of the band, and then I switch up, and then I run backwards, driving off the band. The strength lines aren't exactly the same as running, but having a little bit of resistance helps me practice driving forward versus just picking my legs up and setting them down. Anyway, and then get range at the tail end of all of that. Same range for all sessions. If you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, enjoy it, and I'll see you soon.